what I try to do with my students, even when they're very young, is to engage them in a discussion. In other words, it's not that I am the teacher and they're the student. It's that we are both trying to get to the bottom of the mystery of music and the mystery of mastering something. What's so fascinating about life is that there's always a challenge that we have to master. And as someone like me, I'm a very young person at heart, but I'm getting older, so I have to master the process of aging and learning what that is all about. But I engage in a discussion and try to somehow elicit from the student their own curiosity and for them to take responsibility for the learning process. Even at a young age, they can do it.
안녕하세요. 저는 한국국제예술학교 중등부 3학년에 재학 중인 바이올린 전공 조은별입니다. 최근에 무대를 많이 서보지 못해서 되게 걱정하던 참이었는데 마침 이런 기회가 와서 하고 싶다고 선생님께 바로 말씀드렸는데요. 이런 무대를 어려워하고 회피하는 경향이 있어서 기회를 바로 잡아야겠다고 생각했습니다. 제 가장 큰 강점은 모든 음표들을 살려준다는 점인 것 같습니다. 음악을 이해하고 표현하는 데 있어서 큰 어려움이 없고 저만의 음악적인 개성이 뚜렷하다고 생각해요. 이 곡이 활 테크닉이 정말 중요한 곡인데 제가 아직 그런 부분에서 많이 부족하다고 생각을 합니다. 그래서 이번 기회를 통해 활 테크닉과 이 곡의 생동감 있는 리듬을 잘 살릴 수 있는 기술을 한번 배워보고 싶습니다.
Bravo. So enjoyed. You know, of course, this is such an interesting piece, which is a document of culture, yes, of Basque, Spanish culture, and of course, it's a dance. It's not something that would be particularly sung, but it's and you have wonderful feeling for the rhythms of it. It's really good, and you play very elegantly. So you know, I'm not sure what the best thing to do for you is. But there are certain, yeah, The D, of all things, the easiest thing for you, the D was high to the piano. So one thing, when we play with the piano, even if we're playing a showpiece like this, we need to tune to the piano. Piano is not going to tune to us. So it's funny detail, because everything you're doing is so great, but then when you hold the note, it was a little, you're going to have to adjust to the piano a little bit. And the same thing later on. But at the very end of the section. Let's do the second part a little bit, okay? The A minor, the Allegro moderato, because the first part is so you do great. And what's so wonderful about Unbiol is I think you hear the harmonies so well, and you're making beautiful cadences. Wonderful, really, I applaud you. Yeah, and you know, one thing you want to think about is you want to make sure that the movement you're making, you move very naturally with your body. You want to make sure that it is helping you and not holding you back in any way sometimes. So, you know, when I was very young, I heard Heifetz play live, and he didn't move at all, only the bow moved. But what's so interesting was, even though you couldn't see anything, but he was the most nuancing player. So it's kind of ironic, because he didn't show any emotion, he didn't put on a show, but his playing was, in a way, the most emotional, the most creative, the most nuancing. So let's do from the Allegro moderato, which is very beautiful, yeah? And when you play do, ya, do, ya, do, you take your time for the harmonics. You have more time. Let me say something too. He plays so beautifully, it's great. I want you to feel free. That, in other words, she's wonderful, and she's going to go with you, whatever you do, but you should feel free not necessarily to play with the piano all the time. So if you want to go, da, da, ra, ba, 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 you don't have to be exactly with piano. It's true. I'm one of the few people who, even when I conduct orchestra or when we play chamber music, we want to, most important thing of all, representation in music is freedom. Personal freedom. Very important. And all of these pieces that we play are representations of the freedom of the individual and culture, basically. So I want you to feel free of the piano. And if we listen to some of the old recordings, you know, Heifetz, for instance, he never gave us a signal to the pianist. So when he played a round of the gut, he didn't show them when he was going to start, so they never played the first note with him. They always come in afterwards. So don't worry. I want you to feel free. Yeah, you know, go forward. And keep, the first time, these should be on the string. And then go a little crazy. Yeah, it's a little too civilized. Yeah, for C major, okay? Play right there, the first time, octaves. Okay, good. Yeah, and here, this of course is legato. And I keep saying in all the classes that I give that legato is kind of the basis. It's the most important thing that we do. When we play our scales, we're actually practicing legatos. So what I would, at the moment, you sound very beautiful, but I'm worried that maybe in row S in the hall, or row Z, we're not going to hear the notes enough. So what I would suggest is grow the sound a little. I want you to grow the sound, and then the notes under legato will come out. Because what we want is for the notes under legato to come out as well as any separately bowed note, if we can do it. This is the hard work, actually, okay? One of the burdens that we carry as violinists is how difficult it is to play in tune. So when it gets down to the competition, at the competition level, you can have people who play very, very dazzling. They may even be very, very musical, but if they cannot play in tune, they cannot get to the finals. And if they cannot play better in tune than anybody else in the finals, they don't win the competition. Because every single one of the greatest players who we've had in our history played absolutely perfectly in tune. And then you're looking for, in a competition, even though it's a very stressful setting, and even though these people are playing for jury members with pencils and papers, they're still usually playing for an audience. And the question is whether in that stressful situation, they can overcome it and still give an artistic performance that moves the audience. Good. Now, make the left hand pizzicato forte. The melody, but the left hand, bing, bing, forte. If you can do it. See if you can do it. Actually, tika tika ah, short note. Let's keep it in the style. Tika tika ah. Not tika tika ah, tika tika oh. Okay? Yeah, so here, you can make it a little more bow, but maybe a little higher up in the bow here, And also here's where it becomes, because it's kind of a whistling sound, you want to be fairly close to the bridge. Not far from the bridge, but close to and straight. Okay? See what you can do. Take whatever time you want to take. Don't feel you have to move forward. If you want to take a little more time, more comfortable, you do it. Okay? And everyone plays differently. Everyone has a different sense of the rhythm and different hands, different nervous system. Whatever's going to make you comfortable in terms of the timing, you do it. And don't worry about her.
제가 무대 설 때 물론 되게 떨리고 벅차지만 그 순간만큼은 이제 다른 생각들이 없어지고 악기를 하는 제 모습만 보이는 것 같아요.
Good. Good. Okay, yeah. So here, what I would suggest to you, try to open up the elbow a little bit. Yeah? Taka, taka, taka. There's a kind of punching stroke, like a punch, like this. Taka, 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 taka. If you can do it, so we don't move from the shoulder, and then you can fly. And then, of course, these are just arpeggios. Taka, 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 taka. So, give us the front, if you can. You don't have to play them all so strong. You can go up with the line. We want to hear the arpeggio going up. And let the arm kind of weigh down. Yeah? Not pushing, but let gravity, the weight of your arm. See if you can do it. Yeah, so, but, you know, there's kind of almost a reflex. Yeah? We want this motion, not this, we want a very loose elbow, you know. Try to open each one. And when you want more sound, get lower in the bow. Down there, not up here. So, yeah? I'm trying to open each down bow so I don't go back here. Try. Yeah, yeah. And you know, you want to feel that when it's easy, you go forward. It's like being a race car driver. When you turn, you cannot go forward, but then you go long, goes forward. Not so hard. When it's easy, you go forward. Okay?
바이올린의 얇고 이쁘면서도 굵고 깊은 소리가 제 귀를 사로잡았습니다. 예민하고 힘든 악기지만 그만큼 좋은 소리와 사람들의 마음을 울리는 악기라고 생각해서 바이올린을 선택하게 되었습니다.
Okay, whoa. That's the note I'm talking about. It's the easiest thing, but yum. You know, on the violin, we know this. F, C, B flat, these are very ugly notes. Yeah, they don't sound very good. I don't care if you play a Strat, it's not going to sound that good. So you have to get used to the sound of the flats, of the low keys, right? Yeah, you play scales in flat keys, right? Right? You play B flat minor scale. Okay. So dum da dum da dee. Make sure the F is in tune with the piano. Everything else was perfectly in tune, but then when you hold the note, make sure it's the right one. And you know, there's a reason why all of the great composers, they all wrote the violin concerto in D. All of them, right? Mozart, Beethoven, Brahms, Tchaikovsky, Sibelius, all of them in D. The reason is that the open strings are the 1, the 4, the 5, and the 2. So they're smart guys. They know that if they write in D, it's going to be more in tune, and it's going to sound better. So some notes on the violin are not resonant. But you know, for wind players, they can play easily in the flat key. Clarinet is in B flat, horn is in F. That's their natural key. But for us, not so natural.
단순히 잘하는 연주자보다는 저만의 색깔과 다양한 감정들을 표현하는 좋은 연주자로 기억되고 싶고, 사람들이 제 음악을 들으며 마음의 위안을 조금이나마 얻는다면 그만큼 또 행복한 건 없을 것 같습니다.
Yeah, you know, this is, because now it's piano, you might want to play with a somewhat different quality. A little longer, a little more melodic, rather than dancing. As though you're thinking about it, but not actually dancing. A memory. Okay? Try a little longer. And the low F, because you know we base all of our intonation upon harmony. Okay, so if we know the harmonic function of every note that we play, do you play string quartet?
No.
I know, because you don't have enough violas here. But in string quartet, each one of us is a harmonic component, so we have to know what the harmonies are all the time. I think you hear it perfectly well, but piano is here, and we have to play with the piano. Most important. Yeah? And if we play with the orchestra, we have to match the orchestra. And usually what we're going to do is we're going to tune to what you hear below us. So if I play in my string quartet, I have to tune to my cello. So I played for 11 years second violin, and then I played for 12 years first violin. And everyone asked me, how does it feel, you know? And the thing is, I said, it's no different. I'm still tuning to the cello. That's what I do. I get up in the morning, go to work, tune to the cello. That's all I'm doing. Okay? So nice to hear you. Congratulations.
안녕하세요. 저는 서울예술고등학교 1학년에 재학 중인 정윤입니다. 비에니아프스키의 바이올린 콘체르토 1번 중에 3악장을 연주하게 되었습니다. 화려한 바이올린 멜로디가 되게 매력적인 곡인데요. 그 부분이 끌리기도 했고 바이올리니스트에게는 까다로운 테크닉들이 많이 있어서 제가 공부하기에도 적합한 곡이라고 생각해서 선택하게 되었습니다. 제가 연주하다 보면은 감정이 조금 앞서서 몸에 불필요한 힘이 들어가는 경우가 있는데요. 이 부분을 좀 개선할 아이디어를 얻었으면 좋겠습니다.
Bravo. Sounding great. Sounding great. Okay, let's go back to the front. And what I'd like to see from you, a little bit what I'm seeing, you play very beautifully. Good sound, intonation is very good. You don't need to lift the bow out of the string. But the way most of us who had success in playing on the world stage is that we want to keep the arm close to the violin. Here, wait. But not lift away from the violin. just leave the bow on the string. You don't need to lift it away. You're constantly coming into, and you're making yourself uncomfortable that way. So what we want to do is we want to be able to lift the bow by turning the arm rather than taking the arm away. So we keep the arm in the same place and we turn it. Yeah, that way. It's a little more comfortable. Just leave it there, leave it. And always, as much as you can, staying on the string, you know? In other words, when you play, don't go and hide it. We want to hear your trill. So make a more gradual diminuendo, yeah? Many things are going great for you. Just don't move the arm as much as you can. Just keep it close, and you can put the bow on the violin for a second. Just put there. Open string, doesn't matter. Just put the bow on the violin. Okay, now lift. Yeah. Don't move the arm, right? So you can do everything you want to do without moving the arm. The more you can do without moving the arm, better it is. You know, the place where the bow balances is kind of at the third of the bow, right? Not in the middle. Here's where it kind of balances. So, you know, you can practice things here, and then what we want to do is learn them to generate the strokes with the small muscles, then expand it to the arm. Instead of going from the arm down, we want to go from the small muscles up the arm and expand it later. So when you're learning a piece, you want to feel as though you're playing not with 4 digits and an arm, but 2 sets of digits. This way. But you're doing great because you are using the small muscles very well because you're articulating very well. You're doing it, but you can be more comfortable instead of moving the arm around. Okay? So keep the arm close. Do as much as you can from here. That's what I would say. Try. Yeah, so what I would like to see is, I want you to just lean on the violin with the arm. Instead of pushing, in other words, instead of the idea of pressure, I use the word weight. We're going to weigh down. We're not going to press, we're just going to drop. And it's the same for pianists, you know. This is something that Trifonov had to learn. Because Trifonov, when I was in Cleveland, he was one of our students. He had to learn to play a little bit bigger. He was a very delicate player. So when he needed to play, if you're going to play Tchaikovsky Concerto, he learned to drop. So you have to feel as though you have a little more weight, but I want you to feel that you can drop. In other words, when you play this first gesture, I'm letting the bow fall into the string. I'm always weighing down, especially on the down bow crescendo. You always want to make a crescendo, even a small note on a down bow. It doesn't sound like I'm making crescendo, but at the beginning, I let it grow. We always want to grow the sound in general, but especially on the down bow. I'm not young anymore. I can still hear very well. I still find myself listening to violinists who I heard when I was young and who I admired when I was young. And I encourage my students to listen to many older violinists, because the older violinists somehow may have been a little more in touch with the fact that the violin is really an imitation of the voice. The same way the cello almost more so, because the cello actually plays within the range of the deepest basso to the highest soprano. They can do all that. We cannot. The violin, on the other hand, has always been a symbol of heaven, is very high, a star, a jewel, something which shines, and something which we want, which we can hold in our hands. But still, it is the vocal aspect of the violin which is the most challenging and the most interesting. And that's why it's very, very important that violinists themselves and string players, or any musician, listen to singers. Because singers have a natural way of breathing and a natural shape that they make if they're a good singer and if they're comfortable. And those are the shapes, and those are we are merely a kind of a synthesizer for that sound. And the more we can sound like that, the more we can play the music, which is the great melodies which have been written for us. Okay, good. Yeah. A little bit too much tension in the shoulder. When you come up the up bow, I want you to be very loose here. Okay? Breathe. Get used to feeling that you can raise the arm without tension in the shoulder. Most important thing. So when you go, very loose. Just let the weight of the arm, the bow, that's going to make sound for you. You don't need to try to make the sound. Yeah? And if it crescendos, that's okay. Let it make a crescendo to the frog, because we want to be comfortable most of all. Try. Good. Yeah, but always crescendo. You went, not enough crescendos on the down bows. Always crescendoing, always growing the sound. I'm dropping, okay? Also, maybe violin is too sideways. When I play in the E string, I tend to arch my back, like this. Yeah? Yeah? Try to get a little violin a little bit flatter, so that you have a little bit more. Although it's funny, Oistrakh did not play that way. Oistrakh always played with the violin sideways. It worked for him. I don't know what to say about that. Okay? Yeah, that's right. Leave it there and then show me the front. Front of the note. Instead of lifting and coming back, you would be more accurate. I want to hear. Okay? Then you have the sound.
제가 평소에 성격이 좀 감정적이다 뭐 그런 편인 것 같은데요. 연주할 때도 그런 부분이 자연스럽게 제 표현으로 잘 나오는 것 같아서 그 부분이 제 장점이라고 소개할 수 있을 것 같아요.
Okay, do again. too tense. I want you to feel the same way when you play volleyball. Nice and loose, yeah? Because we are athletes, okay? Violinists. But everything is tiny, you know? These are our legs, right? So stay loose, stay loose. It's not gonna help you to get sound to tense the shoulder, okay? You want the sound to be open. So don't lift away, okay? Try again. When you play the thirds, you hit the metal, of course, just now. But you know why? What that tells me is you're playing too far down here. What happens is the bow is so tight here that it does not sound very good. It will not catch the string. If you want to catch the string, you have to play it here, not here. And then you won't hit the metal. It's important. The bow is too, it's just too hard an implement to catch. If you want to catch the string, it has to be here, not here. I can't really do it. You'll have a better sound, and it will be more in tune. Okay, try. Okay, good. It's different. You see? Now the sound is actually bigger and warmer. And if you want to make a K, P, T, you can do it. Okay? Keep going. Good. Good. Okay, good. Okay. So now we have what we want to have a sostenuto, but sostenuto is not a flat sound. We want to sound like vocalists, like a singer. The only way we can sing comfortably is growing the sound. People we think they have a big sound, it's because they grow the sound. People with small sound, flat sound. It's important that when one prepares to perform, in other words, the practicing, the working in the practice room, everything you do has to be tailored and motivated by what you're going to do on the stage. And it's anything that's going to help you be free, comfortable, and communicative in the deepest possible way. So, you know, when we're thinking about many things, classical music is so complicated, we have to digest, we have to understand the music that we've been given by the history of geniuses without which we would have no job at all. We wouldn't play these instruments. And we're really reproducing something from another time. And the instruments themselves are basically the same. I'm playing a copy of an instrument that was made probably 350 years ago. So we go with humility forward because we want to represent the composers and what they were trying to communicate and their genius more than anything else. And then we want to find the culture in the music. Okay, good. Yeah. Now, if you grow the sound and you let us hear some of these bow changes, you should be very comfortable. What you want to do is keep the contact point, let's say, through the bow change. Don't give it up at the bow change. Stay in touch with the string through the bow change, okay? Yeah, I wouldn't play this fast. You know, I would play this, don't speed it. Just play the normal 16th notes. Yeah, that's what it is. I think it's supposed to be very pretty. Give it a shape. Yeah, not just, if you want to take another bow, you can take another bow. Or two, it's up to you, okay? Okay, good, yeah. Now go forward. Don't worry about her. And be free. Be free. Yeah. It was a little too straight. I want you to do it again. Good, very good. Yeah, you know, you can, he says vigoroso, and when you go yorororori at the end, 16th notes, you can go faster. You can go faster. Everything sounds really good. I think all you have to do now, if you're going to make this, if you're going to grow the sound all the time, we still need to hear more bow change. You still want to hide the bow change. This is something, we were all taught this. Some teacher in our life told us we should not hear the bow change. It is totally wrong. Okay, this is absolutely wrong information. We want to hear, we want to hear it.
테크닉이 굉장히 뛰어나서 사람들에게 존경받고 또 그렇게 기억에 남는 연주자가 되는 것도 정말 감사한 일인데요. 저는 저만의 표현으로 관객을 감동시켰던 그런 음악적 표현으로 관객을 감동시켰던 연주자로 기억되고 싶습니다.
So when you play, if you play, yeah, just listen. We want to hear each note articulated. We want to hear the notes articulated. So we want to hear, yeah? So as long as you don't lift the arm and you work from the small muscles and we hear those voci, you'll be comfortable. As long as you're breathing. Are you breathing? Okay. Okay, very good. It sounds to me like you're getting, you can try to be as low as you can be, so you really stay in touch, yeah? If you need to lower the elbow a little bit, that's good. When you have arpeggios, which you're doing very well, arpeggios. And arpeggios are really the hardest thing that we do in left hand. It's like taking a test. Can you play the same intonation all the way up and all the way down, yeah? You're doing very well. If you want to always, whatever piece we're playing, we want to go up and down with a line. So you want to show both the top and the bottom of the fiddle. Yeah? You can be more brilliant that way. Okay? So play again play the finale. Okay, so good. So start here, and then when you want to make a crescendo, go here. Okay, so we're going to be moving back and forth, but not so much stuck in the middle. You understand? Okay, okay. Good. You're starting too much in the middle. Crescendo right away. But more from here, and then eventually come here. You're here too soon. Right there. Beautiful. Okay. Nice to hear you. Thank you so much.
연습할 때 정말 어렵고 힘들었던 부분들을 잘 짚어주시고 해결해 주셔서 저 혼자서도 열심히 할 수 있는 동기가 된 것 같아 너무 감사하고요. 영광이고 재밌었던 시간이었던 것 같습니다. 오늘 정말 영광이었고 재밌게 잘 이해할 수 있게 가르쳐 주셔서 너무 도움이 많이 된 것 같고 앞으로도 이런 기회가 많았으면 좋겠습니다. 감사합니다.
저의 선생님의 선생님이신 교수님께 레슨 받을 수 있어서 영광이었고 음악적인 부분이나 테크닉적인 부분에서 마음을 많이 도움을 주셔서 좋았습니다. 만나뵙게 되어서 정말 영광이었고 좋은 말씀 많이 해주셔서 감사합니다.
I remember there's something that Bernstein wrote at some point. Lenny Bernstein, he wrote, "I cannot go through a day without listening to music. You know, no matter how much music, there's always something new to listen to. You have to do it when you're young. You have to digest. You have to fall in love. Find the music that you fall in love with, and then try to hear it as well as you can." I was very lucky. I had a very early ear training, and I think training the ear when you're very young allows you, and doing theory as young as you can, allows you to think actively about music in your youth before you get too old. So if a young, in other words, as important as the violin is, and starting when you're young, it's just as important to be able to think about music, hear music, have your ear trained when you're young, and to try to compose and try to improvise when you're young. Playing music is the art of hearing music extremely well. Listen.